So, here we are, day two, forced into homelessness from my narcissistic family. Now, I have struggled since I was laid off of my last job to find work, and I had obtained my life insurance license after that, but the life insurance market is shady as hell to the point where they want you to convince people not to pay their mortgage payment to sign up for a life insurance policy, and I'm not down with that. Medicare, helping senior citizens pick their Medicare plan, I'm down with that. But it's hard to find a steady, W-2 position. Everything is 1099. So I'm looking for everything else. And so, slept outside last night. And sleeping on the ground is not fun. It's not easy. You got to worry about many, many things, strangers, predators, both human and non human. And of course, the most dangerous predator on the planet is a human, the apex. So you have to watch yourself out here. I'm at the park, and it's a little girl that was going down these rocks in front of me, and I had to tell her to be careful because there was a strange dude yesterday that went down there, and I'd never seen him come out. So, I try to look out for everybody when I'm out. It's just, you're supposed to. It's your civil duty. It's your duty as a man, as a woman. It doesn't matter. You protect people around you. You know, even if you don't know them, you just look out for people, in their better interest. Unlike, in your experience with a narcissist, if you've survived narcissism and narcissistic abuse, you know what I'm talking about. You know that it's a constant competition if you're dealing with a malignant narcissist or a dark triad, cluster B personality disorder, combination of Machiavellianism, psychopathy, and narcissistic personality disorder. These people will never take responsibility for their actions or their words. They will project everything that they feel onto you. Everything. And when you try to hold them accountable, it's not a good idea. They're going to blow up. All the rage that they hold on to is going to come out at you when you try to hold them accountable. Like I told my dad, your emotions are not mine. You're projecting your emotions onto me because all I had said, all I did was ask him for help. A few more days to keep me safe, to keep me with a roof over my head and a door to lock. Because the city I'm in, down, the shelters, if you have to go downtown, it's a really violent area downtown. Everybody knows not to go downtown unless you're strapped. And then you can't go into a shelter with a firearm, so it's like you have to choose. I don't really want to go stay 24/7 in a shelter, and I don't want to be disarmed. I get it. They're trying to keep people safe, but I'm not safe without my peace. Nobody's going to keep me safe but me. I promise you that. There's a lot of evil in this world, and speaking of narcissism, you have a lot of narcissists in big business, technology, politics. It's very apparent when you see the Jeffrey Epstein files being dropped. And I was listening to some Swedish music or something like that, Bjorn, or Bjork, whatever. So, and yeah, you might see me smiling and laughing, but that's because I know that what they say about us is not true. And what was said about me is not true. What was said about you by a narcissist in your life is not true. When you're told that you're the problem, yep, you told that you're a mess up, that you've made bad decisions, and I'm talking about if you've done everything you can to do it the right way and you've done everything you're supposed to do, when you're working, you work hard. Life happens sometimes. People get laid off. Sometimes it takes a couple years to find work. And, this whole baby boomer attitude of pull yourself up by your bootstraps is dead. because even the best musicians in the world have songs about being unable to find work in a struggling time. Look at Sade, has Feel No Pain. And, you know, first lines of the songs is Mama been laid off, Papa been laid off. It's a thing. It happens. So if you've ever gone through that and you've ever been living with your narcissist when that happens and you've had them come down on you like they believe that they're the wrath of God themselves, you know what I'm talking about. And when you try to express your hurt, your pain, and set boundaries, what they will do is utilize DARVO, which is deny, attack, reverse victim offender roles. That is when they deny being psychologically abusive or detrimental to your mental health or psychological health or your well-being. Then they attack you for even mentioning it, for having feelings in general. They will outright attack you for having feelings as a human being. And then they will reverse themselves as the victim. They're the offender. They'll reverse themselves and make themselves the victim and make you the offender. DARVO. Deny, attack, reverse, victim, offender role. The R is silent. I'm just joking. But, this, I was going to try to flip this camera.